been a long time, old friend. Let's end this war.
Hey there, pirates! Welcome aboard the Anime No Mi channel. One of the most awaited moments in One Piece is the reunion between Luffy and Shanks. From the beginning of the journey, the promise that they would meet again once Luffy became a great pirate has been one of the pillars of the story. But now that Luffy has awakened the true power of his devil fruit and has been recognized by many as Joy Boy or Nika, the question becomes even more intriguing. Did Shanks already know everything about the sun, God Nika, and what that would mean for Luffy? And when will this reunion happen? You'll find out today. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, if we analyze everything we know so far, Shanks is no ordinary character. He has knowledge about the world that goes beyond what other emperors seem to understand. In chapter 907, he appears before the Gorosei themselves, something no other pirate has managed to do. That alone indicates he has information that most don't. And if he knows about the world government and the secrets they hide, maybe he already knew about the true identity of the Gomu Gomu no Mi. In chapter 1044, when the awakening of the fruit finally happens, the Gorosei reveals that the true name of the fruit was Hito Hito no Mi, Model Nika, and that it was the most feared by the government. And the most interesting detail is that this fruit was stolen from the Navy 12 years ago. What happened 12 years before the awakening was revealed? Shanks took the fruit. If we put the pieces together, it seems highly unlikely that this was a coincidence. Shanks invaded a world government ship and left with the very fruit they feared. If he knew it was Nika's fruit, that would mean Shanks already had knowledge of the sun god legend. And if he knew, then he also knew what could happen when someone awakened this power. This raises another question. Did Shanks always know that Luffy was the one destined to awaken the fruit? Maybe. Who knows? In chapter 1, when Shanks sees Luffy wearing the straw hat and declaring his dream of becoming the Pirate King, he gives that smile of recognition. Back then, it seemed like just the smile of someone seeing a determined boy. But what if it was more than that? What if Shanks already had a reason to believe that Luffy could be the bearer of Nika's legacy? If we consider this, the first meeting between Shanks and Luffy after this awakening won't just be a regular reunion. It will be a moment where Shanks will see with his own eyes that the legend of Nika has returned to the world. But when could this happen? If we look at the narrative structure, it makes sense that this meeting will only happen when Luffy is close to the One Piece. In chapter 1054, Shanks speaks directly about Luffy, but decides that it's not the right time to meet him yet. He says it's time to go after the One Piece, but doesn't make any move to go after Luffy. This means that for now, he doesn't want this meeting. But then, when will Shanks see Luffy as the sun god for the first time? If we look at what happened in the latest major confrontations, it seems that Oda is saving this moment for something bigger. In chapter 1079, Shanks defeats Kid with a crushing blow, showing that he means business. This could be an indication that he's moving towards something important. If Luffy and Shanks are going to meet, it's likely to be at the moment when the fight for the One Piece truly begins. Maybe Shanks is waiting to see Luffy prove his power against the world government, or maybe he wants to see if Luffy is truly ready to carry this legacy. If we think about the pattern of major revelations in the story, it's possible that this meeting will happen in a situation where the entire world is watching, confirming to everyone that Joy Boy has truly returned. Another interesting detail is that Shanks has a connection to the Straw Hat, which once belonged to Roger before passing to Luffy. In chapter 1045, when Luffy awakens Gear 5 and assumes Nika's form, his smile and expression strongly resemble the smiles of Roger and Joy Boy. This could mean that Shanks, upon seeing Luffy again, will see not just the boy he once knew, but also the true successor of the legend that has been passed down for generations. I believe that when Shanks and Luffy finally reunite, it won't just be a moment of nostalgia or a promise fulfilled. It will be the final recognition that the sun god has returned to the world and that the era of Joy Boy has truly begun. I imagine that for Shanks, it will be the moment when he finally sees with his own eyes what he always believed was possible: the return of Joy Boy, and with it, the fulfillment of Roger's legacy. This will be a much deeper reunion than just a simple meeting between master and disciple, or between two important figures in the pirate world. It will be the meeting between the bearer of the legend and the man who perhaps always knew from the start that this power was destined for Luffy. Since Shanks first met Luffy, many believe that he didn't just see a boy with a big dream, but someone with a grand destiny. Shanks' smile when he saw Luffy at that moment, when the young straw hat wearing boy declared he would become the Pirate King, was not just a smile of encouragement. It was the smile of someone who already knew that in some way Luffy was special, more so than any other pirate or adventurer he had ever met. The fact that Luffy carried Roger's hat was not just a simple gift exchange. That hat, representing the legacy of the greatest pirate of all, was a symbolic mark. And for Shanks, giving that hat meant more than believing in Luffy's dream. It meant believing that Luffy could carry the legacy of Joy Boy. When Shanks first met Luffy, he already possessed a deep understanding of the world and the secrets the world government kept, something that made him an enigmatic and unique figure. Throughout his journey, he had access to information that few others could have, as we saw in chapter 907 when he met with the Gorosei. The fact that Shanks was there, speaking with the leaders of the world government, points to something deeper that he probably knew about what was behind the Gomu Gomu no Mi. It's not just a fruit with the power to turn someone into rubber. Now we know that the Gomu Gomu no Mi was, in reality, the Hito Hito no Mi, model Nika, and that it was directly connected to the sun god Nika himself, a mythological figure capable of bringing freedom and drastic changes to the world. The revelation that Luffy's fruit was actually the most feared by the government did not go unnoticed by Shanks. When he took possession of the fruit during his raid on the government ship, he likely knew that the potential of whoever ate it was vast and uncontrollable. In fact, Shanks' decision to keep this fruit out of anyone else's reach was a calculated move, perhaps even premeditated, to ensure that at the right time, Luffy would be the one to awaken its true power. It's possible that at some point during his journey, Shanks realized that Luffy was the destined bearer of this fruit. He not only believed in the young man's potential, but also saw in him the future of something he himself might have already started to believe. The era of Joy Boy was about to return, and Luffy would be the catalyst for it. The reunion between Luffy and Shanks, then, wouldn't be a surprise to Shanks. He always knew that by handing over the straw hat, he was entrusting Luffy with something far greater than just a symbol. He was entrusting him with the fate of the world. When Shanks finally meets Luffy after his awakening, and the world becomes more aware of who Luffy truly is, the red-haired pirate will see something he always knew would happen. However, this will not mean that he will be content only with what Luffy has become. Instead, the reunion will be marked by a mix of emotions. There will be undeniable pride in Luffy for surpassing expectations, but also a feeling of a cycle completed. When Shanks looks at Luffy, he will see the final result of his choice, the choice to believe in someone, even knowing that it would mean stepping back and waiting for Luffy to be ready to carry the weight of the world. Shanks, as a man of great vision, knows that Luffy's journey was not just a series of coincidences. He realizes that every move Luffy made was a piece of a giant board set up over decades. Every action, every battle was a step toward the moment when the entire world would see who Luffy truly was. And upon reuniting with him, Shanks will not only see the boy he once knew, but the man who will confront the world government and likely change the world forever. Looking at Luffy, Shanks may realize that he has finally brought out the potential that had been latent since the moment he met him. Luffy's transformation into Joy Boy, the sun god, will not only be a victory for the young pirate, but also for Shanks, who long ago believed that Luffy was the chosen one to break the chains of the current system and bring freedom to the world. The reunion between Luffy and Shanks will be a landmark, not only emotionally, but also narratively. It will be a turning point where the two figures representing different facets of One Piece, Shanks with his strategic vision and Luffy with his indomitable energy, will meet in a moment of mutual recognition. Shanks will finally see that the young pirate he believed to be the bearer of the legend is ready to take on the mantle of Joy Boy, and Luffy, in turn, will understand the role he played in a much bigger game, though, as always, without losing himself. This reunion, therefore, will not only mark the closing of a cycle that began so many years ago, but also the confirmation that no matter how much the world changes, the choices made by those who believe in each other's potential can indeed change history. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.